Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the channel. My name is Panache, aka Mr. 263, and I'm here with
Adaeze.
Sweet. Today we got a ranking for you guys. We thought it would be nice to rank all these Disney Plus Marvel shows, or 8 of them. We're not gonna go through the specials or the movies. We're just doing the Disney Plus shows. All right, or eight
The
of them.
Marvel shows.
Yes. Generally, I enjoyed most of this. I took a little bit of something in all of them, right? And generally, I thought it's been a success so far. MCU shows on Disney Plus. What about you? Do you think it has been a success, a failure, mid? What do you think?
No, I think it's been a success. Like, I think most shows were hits. Like, obviously, every show had its ups and downs, but overall, I think it was good.
All
It was an
right.
enjoyable new addition to the Marvel world.
I completely agree. All right, so we're just gonna rank all 8 of them from 8 to 1. 8 being the least favorite. I mean that we hated it just means that it's the least enjoyable one. All right. So we'll take turns.
Yes.
You wanna go first?
Yeah, I'll
What's
go
your number
first. So
8?
our rankings are gonna differ.
Go
So let
first.
us know in the comments who you agree with, although I'm sure it's me.
Sure.
Okay, so the number 8 show for me is She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Okay.
Yes. So it's She-Hulk because I mean I did enjoy this show, but it wasn't my least favorite. I thought like the story was weak. Some episodes could have been removed like altogether. And I also thought that like the ending made like everything that happened in the show kind of inconsequential. But it did have some strong moments. Like I thought Daredevil was great in episode 8.
True.
I thought that the post credit scenes were really funny. I thought they were cute when we had them, and I did think that it was cute to see Bruce
And
and
Jen.
Jen interact. So there were some good moments, but overall, it was my least favorite show.
All right, all right. So She-Hulk, your number 8,
Yes.
and my number 8, very different from yours. She-Hulk, I Tony had love. Yeah, this one we have the same one as our least favorite. This show had a lot of potential. The first episode, I thought it was brilliant. I thought they introduced the character fast enough, right? And we got the Hulk there, we got She-Hulk there. I like the dynamic. Then it just kind of went away from that now, which I was like, all right, cool. So let's see the funniness of it, the courtroom drama or whatever, the courtroom comedy. But it was a comedy that wasn't as funny to me, right? So some episodes like the wedding episode, I could care less about that episode. Then yeah, like when it got to the final about the whole fourth wall breaking, it was more annoying to me than enjoyable just because I was so let down. Even though I had some enjoyments with it in especially in the earlier episodes. So that's why She-Hulk is my number 8. All right.
Sense.
Hey, yeah.
Number 7, you
Yeah.
go.
All right. So my number 7 is something that actually hurts me to say it's my number 7 because to rank it this low in the list, because I actually like the show, which is What If, Marvel Studios What If. What If was a really good show to me. It was I really enjoyed all the different what ifs, right? Star Lord T'Challa, Doctor Strange, losing Christine over and over again. I thought that could have been like even a movie, even not even a Marvel movie, just a Disney movie. It just felt like one of those Disney cartoons. Like it was so brilliant. I love that one. And of course, I had my problems with like Broto. That was not my favorite. Like even Captain Carter, she was okay, but she's not one of my favorite. And I thought it's only this low for me just because it's animated. Even though I love animation, it's not. But I love live action more than animation, so it
Makes
suffers
sense.
from that. Just from me personally,
Mhm.
no, yeah. So what about you? What's your number 7?
My number 7 show is Hawkeye. So I mean, I really, really enjoyed the show. Um, Overall, I did enjoy it. To me, it being a Christmas theme, like, kind of cheapened the show because it added that clichéness to it, which I
Mm,
didn't really enjoy too much. Um, but overall, I think it was good. It was good to see Hawkeye's humanity mixed up with, like, the fact that he's been a superhero, the fact that they introduced like his hearing problem, basically showed that, like, him fighting this whole while, like, did have an effect from him because he's not a god. He doesn't
true,
have a cool armor. He's just a regular person. So it
true.
was good to see that side.
Mm,
And I also thought that Kate Bishop was, a good character. They introduced her nicely,
yes.
good, without, like, overshadowing the fact that this was about Hawkeye. And I was so happy to see Wilson Fisk
Mm,
back.
yeah.
So yeah, that's number 7. I really enjoyed the show overall too.
Okay. All right. What about your number 6?
My number 6
Yes.
is What If.
Okay. So we just
Yeah.
flip this.
So I thought What If was really good. I loved the animation. I thought it was very original, and the animation was actually different from other animations we've seen too, like, not Marvel or whatever. So I thought that was cool. I loved the Watcher in it. I loved
Oh
the Doctor
yes.
Strange
Yes.
episode. I loved all those things for sure. It was really original. I didn't really like the fact that the episodes weren't connected, so it was kind of like, but at the same time, it was a good thing because every week was something different.
Yes.
Um, but at the end they did come together, like the episodes did come together, so that was kind of cool.
Mm,
And I thought it was kind of hard sometimes to see like characters that we know and love in like a different light, so that was kind of weird sometimes. But yeah, overall good show. I
mm.
did enjoy it.
Okay. Okay. So
Yes.
the what if is number 6? All right. So my number 6, we just flip flop. My number 6 is Hawkeye.
Okay.
I enjoyed this show. I feel like Kate Bishop was a great character,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave a solid reason why Hawkeye is a icon,
Idol, yeah.
right? Because in a world of the Tony Starks, the Thors, the
Yeah.
Hulks, right? Why look up to this measly human, whatever?
Yeah,
But
for
they
sure.
gave us an understandable reason, like, okay, yes, I get it, I get it,
Yeah.
right? So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed what you're saying, the just the humanity, like of Clint Barton,
Mm-hmm.
because he just felt so real.
Yeah.
Like I love that fact that when they were in the musical, he just took off his earrings. Like, this is ridiculous, because that's what someone will say,
Yeah.
right?
That has had
Yeah,
that experience. Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. And I really enjoyed this show a lot. Some of the things that I didn't enjoy as much is the lack of running.
Oh.
I wanted to get running more to know more about that time during the blip,
Mm-hmm.
right? They just say alluded to it and just like, oh, it was just a dark time in my whatever. But I mean, and even though your character Fisk came through, um,
Your
I,
character.
yeah, and I enjoyed his performance, especially when we first saw him in that conversation with Kate's mom.
Yeah.
But his fight with Kate,
Oh.
kind
Mm-hmm.
of like,
Got a
dude,
bit
that's not
unrealistic.
really,
Yeah.
yes, that's not really what. It was not that believable because Kate
Yes.
is still learning, and this Kingpin is already Kingpin,
Mhm.
right? I wanted more power from that. But anyways, enjoyable show. All right. Now
Number 5.
5, that's when it's starting to get spicy, right?
Yes.
My number 5 is Miss Marvel.
Oh.
Yes, it's
Okay.
Miss Marvel. I know Miss Marvel was a great show. There is not a lot of things that I can point to, be like, oh, why is it my number 5? Except for the fact that it was not just geared towards me.
Yeah.
It's just not my favorite genre. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It just cannot beat the other shows that they released. But I think it's one of the best, just well made shows that
Mm-hmm.
Marvel has ever made. And I enjoyed the character of Kamala Khan was so well written,
Mm-hmm.
and if she felt real, right? I could relate to her, and yeah. And I like the friends. Usually I don't like the teenagers in movies, or even white teenagers in general. Usually I don't like them just because they're so annoying.
Wait,
And
if any teenager is watching, we're happy you joined the channel.
yes, but like I like because I appreciate when I see a teenager that's respectful, right? Or when you see someone, you say you treat others with respect, right? But usually that's not how they're portrayed in the movies.
Yeah.
Especially in the movies, they're just portrayed as just teen angst, like that gives them a reason, like think they know everything, they're better than everyone. So I mean, that's what I was expecting from this, but it was totally opposite. It was totally opposite. The villain story is the only weak thing about this show to me. How
Okay.
about you? What's your number 5?
I think my number 5 was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I really like it. It was really good. I thought it was amazing to see like the struggle that Sam Wilson was facing between him being black and him being Captain America. That was realistic. Wasn't something that like, we can just wash over, especially in the time that we're living. So I'm glad that Marvel decided to tackle it head on. So it was good to see. The relationship between Sam and Bucky was really cute. It was good. Yeah. And then even just seeing Sam's background story, his relationship with his sister, his home,
Yeah.
and all of that was really cool. I absolutely love Zemo and his comeback. The Zemo, we want the clothing line to be dropped.
Wow.
We want it to be dropped. And if you can't do it, give me the contract and I will do it for you. And I also loved having Isaiah being introduced.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know about him before. But it was really good. I think the way they portrayed him was good. It was a very heavy episode, but at the same time it was well done. The story did have some holes. And it was very there was quite a bit of politics, but after all, it was Captain America.
Yeah.
And I thought that the super serum soldier is a bit over. Super soldier serum. It's a bit overdone, but yeah. Overall, that's my number 5. But enjoyable show.
Okay. All right. That tag there, that ranking is those are fighting words, but anyway, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is Moon Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, I really, really loved Moon Knight. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was good to see the representation of Egypt. It was a character I also didn't know before, so it was a great introduction, I thought. It was a great how they portrayed they tackle the theme of mental health. And it's a superhero with mental health issues, so I think that was cool for representation.
Yes.
There were some very touching moments. The costumes were amazing. I absolutely love that. Yeah, it was also good to see the difference between Moon Knight, like the different 2 Moon Knight suits.
Moon Knight and Mr. Knight.
Mr. Knight, yes, it was so cool. I thought overall though the plot was really interesting, but maybe it was a bit too complicated. Some things kind of went over my head, and the ending was like a bit unsatisfactory for me. And I'm not too sure what the bad guy wanted. So, I get it, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my number 4.
All right. Yeah. My number 4 is also Moon Knight.
Really?
Yes. Moon Knight is also my number 4. I felt like he had powerful performances from Oscar Isaac. He did his damn thing. He didn't even need to talk for me to know which character is there. Is it Steve? Is it Mark? Right? Oh, Steven, sorry, with a V, right? I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the villain. I enjoyed Hero. I know you said you don't really know what he wanted. He wanted pain to end, and I commend him for he was not one of these fake villains, right? That would be like, I believe in this, but when they all get offered that, they'll be like, no, but except for me, for everybody else. Because when Ahmed came through, he was like, oh yeah, I am a sinner. You can judge me, I'm ready to be judged. He didn't back away from it. That means he believed in what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate when villains do that. They don't feel like villains to me. Just feel like somebody who is, who is trying to help the world, but maybe they're kind of misinformed or something. Just their way is not beneficial for all of us.
Yeah.
But they really believe that. I really appreciated that. I appreciated Layla. But why it is number 4, maybe not number 1, because of one line
in
the last episode when Layla as a superhero. I forgot her name now. As a superhero, uh, saved some little girl, and the little girl straight up said, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?"
That's for the
She's
culture.
like, "Yes." No, that's not for the culture. That's just bad. Just show it. It was powerful enough. We noticed that, right? You don't like. I don't want like when Falcon comes through, right? And somebody be like, you can see he's black. I don't want you black. Are you a black superhero? Like, yo, that yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. But overall, the show was great to me. It was, as you said, the ending. Uh, it felt
Unfinished.
yeah, unfinished.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully, we get something else out of it. All right.
Perfect. What is your number 3?
All right. This is
Now we're
when
getting to our top 3.
yes, this is the cream, right? The top of the toppest, whatever it is. Okay, my number 3 is something that takes me back to the whole beginning of the Disney Plus era, which is WandaVision.
Ah,
WandaVision is my number 3. Enjoyed this show, right? I also understand that people with the experience, because this was the first one coming out of the pandemic.
yeah.
I think we were still in the pandemic.
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah,
pandemic.
in the pandemic, right? But it was like the first one with like having a year with nothing from Marvel. It's the first, so it was so nice just to get something. So I know some people just like because they just appreciate it too much.
Go ahead,
Just
tell me what you
because,
think.
just because it was something that was lacking in their lives.
Uh-huh.
But
So what do you think?
it is my number 3. I liked it. They introduced one of my new favorite characters, which is Monica. Or as I call it advertise. But anyways, that's just me. I like Monica. I like Jimmy Woo. Wanda story in this one. Oh my goodness, they didn't shy away to make her like a real character, someone who is broken that
Yeah.
can do some
Yeah.
horrifying things
Yeah.
because you're broken.
Yeah.
And Vision,
Yeah.
Vision was just Vision. He's always a delight,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
I can't wait to see more of that gray Vision. Even though they say white Vision, he looks great to me.
Sky blue, light blue.
Yeah, the ship of pieces argument, the whole fight,
Yeah, yeah.
it was unbelievable. And the villain, what's her name, Agatha Harkness,
Mhm.
with her backstory. Oh, it was so well done.
Sure.
Yes, but it wasn't a perfect show, of course. But I just want to see the good stuff. How about you? What's your number 3?
My number 3 show is Miss Marvel. I don't know why you put it at 5,
Yeah.
but I guess for me I think I'm closer to the target audience for it, so that's why I enjoyed it more. I thought the music slapped in it. The music was lit. I thought it was really good to see the representation, like being an immigrant. Like I'm not like I don't have the same origins as her, but I could still identify with a lot of the problems that were going on at home. Like I feel like, all immigrant parents are the same. So like
Yeah.
the fact that she couldn't go out, she would like sneak out the house and all that. I could identify with a lot of things. I thought it was cool how they incorporated like some words from her language. I thought that was really cute. Just to make it more realistic. Like I thought the family dynamics was very genuine. So I liked seeing that. The colors in the show and the animation, the extra animation was really, really
Yeah,
cute.
that was really good.
That
was really
And
good.
the storyline was strong. I thought we were hooked from the beginning.
That's true.
I think one of the downsides is that I think like the villains could have been developed
Noah, yes,
a bit
Jean.
further. Yeah, so that was not really super well done. And I wish Aisha was still alive. Aisha is so cool. So I wish she was still alive, but her backstory was really cool too. So that is my number 3.
All right, okay. Top 2 now.
Yes,
What
my
is your
top
number
two.
2?
My number 2 is Loki.
What?
Loki.
Oh, I was like, hey.
I was between Hawkeye and Loki. I'm sorry. It's Loki.
Yeah, okay.
I loved Loki. I don't know. I just really I love the character. Like, even before the show. So it was really good to get a show. I thought like the show was super creative. The plot was really strong. and interesting. It was good to see all the different Lokis. Like it was actually funny to see some of those as well.
Yes.
I thought like yeah, it was a very good introduction to the multiverse. That we got later on, like with the TVA and all of that. So CVA and all of that.
TVA, yes.
Yeah. So I thought like the idea of self love was really cute. And of course, if anybody was to fall in love with himself, it'd be Loki. You know what I mean? It's either Loki or like Stark maybe.
Nah, I don't. Stark loves the ladies too
He
much.
loves the ladies.
Yes.
He's a ladies man. That's true. I thought the ending maybe was a little bit confusing, just a little bit. I loved how they introduced the one who remains in the show. I thought the show was amazing, masterpiece. But it's my number 2.
Okay. All right. So that's your number 2. And as for me, my number 2 is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I can see a target audience for that.
Oh, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. This show was made especially for me.
Yeah.
This was made for me. I love me some Stucky, right? Some Anthony Mackie and some Sebastian Stan. I'm a stan for those two guys. That was too beautiful, man. Anyways, I feel like this show was really wonderful. I love going to New Orleans to meet Sarah, Sam's sister. I love to see what Bucky is going through, because Bucky, I feel like ever since Winter Soldier, he's just been in the background. He's just been like that thing or whatever. I mean, they had him in Civil War. He had a big story, but we didn't really get to see who is Bucky now in this new world. So now we understand what Bucky is going through, what's his place in this new world, because this guy is 100-year-old man or whatever, however old he is, right? So now to take him in this new world, to see with all the trauma he went through. Oh, I felt like when Wakanda came in, when the Doro Milaje came in, I was just like, oh my goodness. When you just hear the music, you just like, oh my goodness. And we get the Mayonnaise America. What's his name? Oh, John Walker. So when he came through, we hated him
on site.
We hated him, and it was perfect. It was well acted. And then at the end, I didn't hate him as much. He's one of my favorite characters, right? But he makes some decisions that makes you be like, but you understand where he's coming from. He wasn't just this one-note character. He wasn't just this one-note character. He was well written. The villains. That's why this story is probably not my number 1. It's probably because of characters like Sharon, who is understandably on the other side, but I don't feel like it was executed properly through to the point that, like, because they were teasing that power broker thing so hard, just for it to be Sharon was a little bit on the male side, right? And I loved Kali Morgenthau. I liked her, but I feel like with the changing of the scripts or whatever because of COVID, so some of the things didn't make too much sense. So that is only the reason why the show is not my number 1. But Sam's new suit at the end, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I really, really love that. All right, so
okay, on to your number 1 now.
Well, like everybody don't know. Well, if you don't know, you gotta do your math. But obviously, my number 1 is Loki. Loki was a show that I didn't like. When I watched the trailers for Loki, I was like, oh, cool. I didn't think I would love the show. I think I would just appreciate the show. But at the same time, I was like, Loki time traveling, going through different, just messing up the timeline. It's okay. But when I saw it, the first sit down with Mobius and Loki, just that one-to-one, man-to-man conversation, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is it right here, right? And when we met Sylvie, I liked Sylvie. When we go, well, not really go, when we die and go to the what do you call it, that other place where pruned people go, I forgot, to the void. I think, yes. We made a classic Loki. We made a bashful Loki and alligator Loki, who is so cute, right? We meet all those people. The show was just well made. It was just well made. There's no episode that I was just like, that's trash, right?
Really, really
yes, and the finale with He Who Remains.
Yeah,
it was mostly talking. But I didn't mind.
No,
every word. I was just like, oh yeah, give me that. Give me that. Now I can't wait to see Ant-Man, Quantumania, and the Wasp, just because of that little Jonathan Majors we got from there.
Yeah.
So that is why Loki is my number one show for opening up the multiverse.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. What's your number one? I don't know.
My number one show is WandaVision.
Yeah.
I love the show. For the reasons that he already said. It was pandemic and all that. I think overall it was just really good to see Wanda's story. It was very touching. Like, it was good to see what grief and what pain can really lead a person to.
Yes.
And like, the story is really about, like, Wanda is a monster in the story, but we don't see her as that.
No.
Like, I just see her as, somebody that she's just trying to get relief after all that she's been through. Yes. And actually, I think it's actually pretty cool how Marvel does that quite often. Like, they portray someone that is doing like something really horrible. You relate to the but like you get it. And I was like, oh, like he kept telling me like, oh, Wanda is so evil. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's just hurt. Yeah, it was very good. I loved Agatha in it. I loved Vision, of course, in it. It was the ending was heartbreaking. It was very painful. When she went, when she let go of the hexagon and all that. It was heartbreaking, but I absolutely love the show. I feel I romanticize it.
Yes.
But yeah, that's my number one.
Okay, yes. No, the show was well made. The show was well made. The whole sitcom eras after era. It was really nice. It was really nice. Yeah, and I think Marvel I know a lot of people like, the Phase 4 has been Marvel just declining. I'm like, oh, they had some misses. Like, for me, as far as I'm concerned, or like She-Hulk did not hit like that, right? It was more like but all the other shows, right? Even She-Hulk, I wouldn't say it's a bad show. I would just say maybe just wasn't for me, right? Because I know there's some people that swear up on the show, right? Yeah. And I like the character that they introduced in there of Jen Walters. I really love that character. The show overall wasn't that for me, but I feel like Phase 4. I mean, that's our only phase with shows, so we had more to handle. I feel like it was a success. It was a major success. The Hawkeye show, I know now I really love Clint Barton. Like, because before I only love Clint Barton because everybody else hated him. Like, people were like, oh, why is Hawkeye there? Why so I just felt so defensive. But now I actually have reasons to actually love him. Even though I've always loved his relationship with like Wanda. Right, I felt like he was like Wanda's voice of reason.
Yeah, he was the voice of reason a lot, like even for Black Widow and all that.
Yes.
So, but yeah, no. Overall, I think Phase 4 was successful. So we're looking forward to the next phase. We'll probably do a ranking of the movies also in this Phase 4.
Yeah, let us know, guys.
Let us know in the comments what you think your ranking was. If you identify more with my ranking, which I'm pretty sure you will.
The correct one.
Or his ranking. Like, I don't know who thinks like that. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We will see you next time. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you next time.
All right, peace.
What to them? Cha! Bangani, bangani, bangani. You know, big when the moon was